Hello folks, this is Johnny again, and today we're gonna move on with our mix of the song Stampede from our album Inspiring Nightmare. Still going on with the challenge of using only stock plugins and seeing where it goes. Now, I watched the first video again and I noticed I forgot one thing and I kind of still want to change another thing. For example, what I forgot is the hi-hat and the toms. Still gotta look at those. So let's just get a part in here with the hi-hats. Still gotta do some filtering here. Yeah, and some panning. Let's put it left 50%. Should be good enough. So it's kind of in the same space as in the overheads and the room mics. So I don't want to have the hi-hat all the way to the left on the overheads and room mics, but then the hi-hat mic itself, I'm going to pan to the other side? That's not going to make sense. I want to pan it in the same space as it is in the other ones. And now let's check about the volume. Let's pull this all the way down. Let's just listen to the stuff and then compare the volume of the hi-hats to its volume in the overhead. See, I don't want to fade it in too much, just a little bit to add a bit more body to the hi-hat. A lot of the high-end sizzly stuff is already in the overheads, and a lot of room is already in the room mics, so you don't need too much of the hi-hat in here. Also, you don't want the hi-hat to be louder than every other cymbal, so gotta make sure about that. Yeah, about something like that. Now let's check the toms. Yeah, let's get this part as a starting point. Let's see. I also need a bit more volume, I suppose. I need another part. I guess something like this. There we have a part that is a bit more audible. Now here the thing about EQing toms is I want to make sure they kind of have the same impact as the kick. I want to have the click kind of in the same sounding ballpark as well as the low end, so they kind of build a unit. I don't want to have them poking out in a weird way that's very different from the kick. I just want them to be a bit more united. Okay, let's put this a bit higher still. Okay, let's leave it like this for now. Let's put a compressor on here, but also something. I kind of want to put something first that catches the peaks. So let's do something like this. Yeah. Okay, something around those lines, just to make sure our rough mix is good and nothing is left out. With the bass, I'm gonna leave it like this for now, but I was thinking perhaps I'm gonna have to process it differently along the way, but we'll get to that when we get to it. With the rhythm guitars, I wanted to change the EQ a little bit. Wait, where are the rhythm guitars? No, let's leave them like this. Let's leave them like this for now. Let's go on with some other stuff. Like the solo. We haven't done this yet. Filtering. Nah. Guess I'm EQing too much at this point already. But there is some nasty frequency in the solo that I don't like. Yep, I like that. Let's see. There's something I want to do with the snare. The snare is not quite there where I want it. You can see it's peaking quite drastically and doesn't sound very rich and full yet. So, what I want to try first, this is something that I used to do quite some time ago, is first I would put a kind of limiter on the snare to catch the peak, with which you can then bring up the sustain, and after that I'm going to use a compressor that adds more punch to it. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah, this is taking down quite a bit. I want to get a gain reduction, perhaps minus 4 dB. Let's take out the look ahead so it doesn't clamp down on the punch you get from the transient too much. Now let's try it like this. Wait, hang on. Gotta do this right. No gain compensation right now. See, while I'm doing this, I'm also taking a look at the meter down here, because I want to check if the peaks are getting actually under control, if they are not going as high as before. And if they aren't, then I know, okay, I'm doing a good job, and now I can bring up the whole gain. Okay, let's try it like this. Okay, yeah, this seems to work. So after this compressor, I'm getting about the same peaks here, but at the same time the body of the snare, the whole sound of it after the initial punch is coming up as well. So we get a bit more richness in there. Now let's take a look at the punching compressor. Let's give it a faster release. Perhaps a slower attack. Let's take out both compressors. I hate this mouse. Whenever I click, it's making a double click. There's some kind of short in here. Okay. Okay, it sounds a bit richer when I put a cut at around 1K instead of 500 Hertz. Yeah, I like that better. Let's start off here with the vocals. Let's see, where do we have the vocals? Down here.
Marauder flung into.
Okay, first again, the Pro EQ.
The vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home.
Okay, I kind of immediately want to make those dynamics work better, because if the dynamics aren't right, and especially if there's no space to the vocals, I also need some kind of delay effect. I personally find it difficult to make sure that it actually sits right, also EQ wise. So let's get a compressor in here. The way I'm gonna do it now, let's get a ratio of about 3:1, not too much. Just something for a first kind of gradual all over dynamic leveling.
A hapless marauder flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, but with the power that no one had known. following magnetic trails.
Okay.
Sails, the sails, the weary tyrant flows with ancient tech in tow, and all reports say he's destroying as he goes. Stay away.
Okay, something around those lines, and then a second compressor with a harder ratio. Yeah, there's a pretty hard ratio here. That will catch loud parts and give it a bit more oomph.
A hapless marauder flung into the vast. A hapless marauder flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, but with a power that no one had known. Following.
So where's the chorus?
Stellar toe, and all reports say he's destroying as he goes. Stay awake, that one they lost is coming back. Welcome fate.
Why, you notice this peak here around 800 hertz. I can already hear it, it's poking out quite a bit. Now, without a dynamic EQ at my disposal, I'm gonna have to check if the multi-band compressor in here is going to help me. I kind of already want to take care of that because it's kind of bugging me. Where's the multi-band compressor? There's the tri-comp. Don't want to have that. Don't tell me it doesn't have the multi-band compressor in here. That would suck. Filter, beat delay. And why is everything just alphabetically ordered? I want to have stuff as dynamics or delays, but here it's just all mixed up. Hang on, compressor, expander, fat channel EQ gate, limiter, mix tool, mix verb. No. Don't. No. It doesn't. Okay. Artist doesn't even come with a multiband compressor. I mean, there's a tri-comp, which is basically a multiband compressor, but it will not do what I want. I already know that. Okay, let's try just a static EQ.
He's destroying as he goes. Stay away.
Let's just take that frequency very narrow on, and let's lower that a little bit.
That one they lost is coming back. Welcome fate. This universe.
Okay. I guess this, I mean, that's the thing when you're going only with stock plugins, you're gonna have some kind of limitation. And that's the limitation I'm running into right now. I can't use a multiband compressor or a dynamic EQ.
Welcome fate. This universe ain't so big after all.
And I so don't want to automate an EQ right now. Oh, that would be super annoying. I kind of want to go on with parallel processing on my drums. I want to have a bit more punch on that kick and the snare. Ah, come on. this and like this. Hang on. Okay, now let's go on here. Where's the compressor again? There's the compressor. Let's. Oh, where did it go now? Where? Here, room 1. Doesn't have supposed. See, stuff like this. The mouse acting up. Just letting go of my click when it's not supposed to. Okay, let's route that to the drums bus. Let's put this post fader. Let's rename this as kick parallel comp. Let's boost this to 0 dB. Let's mute it. Let's solo that one. And now we need to smack the heck out of it. So, like fast release, medium attack, because I want to have a really strong smacky attack on this one. With this one, I want to make sure that each kick hit has about the same amount of force, because I don't want to have stuff just falling apart or getting under the rest of the mix when there's some kind of short double kick action coming in. Okay, let's slowly fade it in until it's fine. Okay, let's put this to about -8 dB. Or, you know, one trick I sometimes like to do when I'm not sure how far I want to fade a parallel processing track in, I lower the original track by about, let's say, 2 dB, and then I fade the parallel track back in until the instrument that I'm processing is at the same volume level again as it was before. So let's put this down again. Let's lower this 2 dB. And now I'm gonna raise the parallel compression track until it's at the level again that it was before. Yeah, something around those lines. Now, snare needs its own parallel compression. Come on. Snare, para, comp. Okay. Let's route that to the drums bus again. Let's put a post fader. I put those kinds of things post fader so I can still play around with the actual fader from the track and it doesn't affect the input level going into my compressor. And here, I want to do it differently. Perhaps you know this procedure from my other drum walkthrough video on the snare. I gotta have to say on this snare, not every snare, but this snare works well when I put a kind of limiting compressor in parallel, so we kind of suck out the sustain on here, and instead we are bringing up the body of the snare. And gotta turn on the look ahead, otherwise we get a very crazy peak happening. Okay. You know what? Hang on, but before I really fade in the compressor, I want to try something else. Usually I like to use a saturation plugin on my drums to catch the peaks while giving the drums more volume and body and power. But in here, of course, we don't have that. We only have this distortion plugin. I want to try this out right now. Okay, that sounds disgusting. Hang on, soft tube, hard tube, band tube. Stick with the soft tube, stage 1. I don't want to have any filtering in here. Let's turn down this. Let's turn down the drive. Yeah, it works. Hey, that's awesome. So soft tube on stage 1, take out the filtering, and now the drive is at about 3, and I match the output volume. And now just look at the meter down here. When it's turned off, the peaks go pretty high, but there's not too much body to the snare. Oh, hang on, the parallel compression track was still on. And now when I turn this on, you notice it doesn't peak as high, but there's more body. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's check this out. Okay, let's try to fade in the parallel compression here somehow. Well, let's do it like before. Let's lower this one. Okay, and then after all this, I sometimes like to do another EQ just for some minor shaping afterward. Let's put it in the mix though. Okay, something around those lines. Kind of already want to give the snare some reverb. Let's try not the room verb. Wait, what's here? Mix verb. I want to try this one. Let's put it to the drum bus. So. Hey, this actually sounds pretty good on the snare. Let's give it just a little bit of low end reduction. So it doesn't muddy up the mix too much. Okay, it's starting to sound like something. Let's just really quick do a little bit of parallel processing on our vocals. We need a delay and a reverb. Delay, where's the delay? Dual pan, hey, give me delay. Beat delay, what's this? Okay, let's just put this in here, let's see what happens. Wait, I first need to figure this thing out. Let's put it on our main track. Let's turn this one off. Here we go, finally, my goodness.
A hapless marauder flung into.
Okay. Is there any way to put this to milliseconds? Of course, I suppose not. No.
A hapless marauder flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, with the power that no one had. A hapless marauder.
Okay, something around those lines. Now let's try hang on, let's put this over here. Voc slap. Let's put it through the vocals bus. Where's my here mix verb? Let's try this. Voc verb.
Flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, with a power that no one had. A hapless marauder.
Okay, let's put the width not too wide, and now I want to put again some post key on here on my reverb.
Flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, with the power that no one had following magnetic trails, stellar winds upon his sails, weary tyrant foes with ancient tech in tow, and all reports say he's destroying as he goes. Stay awake, that one they lost.
Okay, last thing I want to do for today is I want to try and give the vocals a de-esser. For this, I'm going to use the compressor with the filter. Listen to the filter. Yeah. And I'll limit this. Oh, let's put it to 10 to 1. Let's not be too drastic here. Fast attack, fast release.
Hapless, 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 marauder, flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home.
Okay, sounds better.
Hapless marauder, flung into the vastness, left to brood alone, left without a home, with the power that no one had known.
I want to check the reverb again.
Hapless marauder, flung into the vastness, left to brood alone.
I just want to give the vocals just a touch more space. Nothing too much, nothing too dominant. When we get into some further processing, I'm gonna make some bigger reverbs for the choruses and whatnot. But for today, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. So just to recap, we gave the kick parallel compression to give it more punch. We gave the snare some parallel compression and some more processing here, as well as some reverb. Touched up on some stuff and started on the vocals. Well, let's check it out. Okay, that's good for today. As always, I hope you enjoyed this, and next time we will go on mixing the song with stock plugins and see where we will end up. I guess this will still take perhaps 2 more sessions, perhaps 3. We'll see. Until then, have a good one.